Hey chat, welcome to stream. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. Chicken disclaimer and neighbor disclaimer. You may be hearing some chickens and neighbors in the background. There is nothing I can do about them. Hi Friss, hi Countess Timpani, welcome back to stream. How are you doing? Yeah, first things first. I have no idea what I'm doing, so please be patient with me. Sorry, it's been a while. No need to apologize. Life happens. I'm just glad you're back here, Countess Symphony. And I hope you've been well. There's two channels. Oh God, two sides. How the heck? Fun fact, Chris. It is deception. I used an autopanner because I learned a bit too late that my microphone only records mono audio. So I got a VST and fixed that. I can't control a few aspects of it, but it's better than just mono audio. And I thought I'd just talk a chat while thinking of this stream. Hang on. Throat's doing its thing. It feels like Clara is walking around, so it's not true binaural audio. Yes. Yeah, it's not true binaural audio. True binaural audio would have two microphones, or at least a stereo setup. I do not have that. Why are you rotating? Orbiting even. Hi, Angel. Actually, I would be orbiting you. If anyone's rotating, it would be you, Angel, or anyone listening. You are rotating while I would be staying in place. Clara is a moon. Am I the moon that rotates around you? I would never rotate. That's what everyone says. And then you dig through their histories and find out they do indeed rotate. Did I tell you I found out that they can't launch a weather balloon? Give me a moment. It's illegal, is it? Is it illegal in Singapore? Fly me to the moon. Angel, are you tempting me to sing Fly Me to the Moon while rotating around you like a moon? This pensive, sad life. Someday you'll get to a place where you can launch a weather balloon into space. Someday, let's manifest it. So, today we could chat here for a bit, but I realized, wow, it would be weird if we were chatting and then everyone went to bed. So I decided I might as well pick up something else to do on ASMR mode. So what did I do? I looked up the Aeneid, Virgil's Aeneid, both the Latin and the translation by H.R. Fairclough. So I hope I can actually fall asleep to your ASMR soon. It is nighttime where you're at, right, Countess? Yeah, it would be nice if I started at just as you're falling asleep or a bit before that so you can listen. And I hope the ASMR does actually work because I can tell from here. Hi, RGO. Welcome to stream. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. And I hope everyone in chat's been taking care of themselves. Or else. I was actually trying to think of something more cursed for today. Something along the lines of that beating you until you're unconscious ASMR. But I'm not good enough to do that, I think. I'm still grinding a game just cuz. I don't care if it's 1:40, that is a bit late, isn't it? Game, please. What game are you grinding? You're in my ears. I'm always in your ears, RGU. I am inescapable. I am inevitability made flesh. Oh god, I just implied that I am made of flesh. Then again, I do speak of a flesh vessel a lot, so there's that. Okay, since I did order some milk tea several minutes ago and it's kind of nearby, I think I'll wait for the milk tea to get here before reading Latin. I don't want to start reading Latin and have to stop because oh, someone followed. Oh, Crispy, welcome to stream. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. Give me a second. Let me do the shout out. I had no idea this was your content and it sounds really nice. Thank you so much, Crispy. Actually, this isn't my usual content. Thank you so much, Joshua, for the follow. How are you guys doing? This isn't actual content. I get jump scared by the follow notif every time, no matter how loud or soft it is. But yeah, this isn't my usual content. I mostly do art and games and music. This is my first ASMR stream and I have no idea what I'm doing. Good, thanks you. I'm doing pretty good. Just a bit tired up from the last couple of weeks, but I'm doing good. I'm alive, and that's what matters. Do you do voice acting by any chance? No, I do not. I thought about it, but my range is actually not very wide, so I'm not sure what to do with it. I only have that one voice, or maybe a couple more. But I'm not sure it's enough to start voice acting. Just one of these days, I want to get a tarot card reading just to disprove it the following day. You already did that, Countess. Remember when you asked me for a tarot reading about gotcha and I was wrong merely 10 minutes after the stream? I remember. Oh, jeez, it is so close by. I might have to BRB in a few minutes, but we'll see how fast he gets here. I have a big vocal range, but I can't ever do voice acting because I can only do them while singing. I mean, there might be some rules that do singing and voice acting at the same time. Why not? Oh, anytime now. Excuse me, I will be right back, chat. My milk tea is here. Uh-oh. I'm back. Uh-oh, wait, I put it a bit too close to the mic. Say I need to pull for Ito. Have you not gotten Ito yet? Manifesting Ito for you, Crispy. I'm still torn between Kazuha and Ito, though. And there are rumors that the next banner is going to be Zhongli, so I have to save for that. It's round 4, Zhongli. I have tried pulling for Zhongli on every one of his banners. He is the reason I started playing Genshin. And he never came home. Not once. Come home, Grandpa. What the heck? My voice acting range is just annoying shonen anime main character English. Hey, it was delicious. The cringe was delicious that day, Crispy. It was A plus voice acting. I approve greatly. I was surprised Zhongli's English VA is the same VA as Torbjorn. Yeah, he has some range. He also voices Johann Liebert from Monster, and that was a bit of a surprise. If you guys like thrillers, read or watch Monster by hang on, what was her name again? By Naoki Urasawa. I'll put it down in chat. Ito was my reason, but I ended up playing 6 months later. Respectable, respectable. Gotcha is a curse you will not be able to escape from. Osmanthus wine. Wait, I bet I can say the Osmanthus wine line myself. There's the first, upon Googling it, the first result is, oh wait, click. What the hell does this mean in the fandom wiki? Genshin just casually tabbed on my PC right now. I respect the grind. You get those hill trails. You show them what's what. Oh, okay. There's the full quote. Let's go. Let me try once or twice or a few times, and then. I don't know. Do you guys want to keep chatting, or should I go hop on straight to the Aeneid? Osmanthus wine tastes. Words are hard. Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. But where are those who share the memory? No, I could have done better, but I don't know. Should I do that again? Every journey has its final day. Don't rush. Latin time. All right. Hang on. Before Latin time, let me actually open up my note. Fun fact, I got downstairs and I jump scared the driver because I didn't answer my phone. It's plugged in and charging. So I got his attention and he jumped. I'm so sorry, sir. I just needed my tea. All right. Milk isn't good for the vocals, but I don't care. I like milk. Okay. Wait, where's the Latin? Ah, there we go. Virgili Maronis Aenidos Liber Primus, which I can't translate off the top of my head. And the translations don't give a proper title, but okay. Aeneid, Book 1. I don't know how to pronounce this. Ain't Gab. Thank you so much for the follow. We're about to read some Aeneid today. Okay, so I will be reading Latin paragraphs, one Latin paragraph, and then its translation right after, so we're not left entirely in the dark. You're drinking milk? Stop. I'm sorry, Crispy, I cannot be stopped. It is mandated now. I bought the milk tea and now I must consume it. Stop drinking milk? No. Niet. Fight me. You'll have to pry this milk tea off my cold, dead hands. Okay. The Aeneid by Virgil, whichever pronunciation you like. Book 1, verses 1 to 11, Invocation to the Muse. Arma rumque cano, Troie qui primus ab oris, Italiam fata profugus, Lavinia que venit. Itora, multum ille et terris iactatus et alto. Vi superum sive memorem iunis ob iram. Multa coque et bello passus, lum conderet urbem. Inferetque Deos latio, genus unde latinum. Albanique patres, atque alter moena Rome. Arms and the man I sing, who first from the coasts of Troy, exiled by fate, came to Italy and Lavine shores, much buffeted on sea and land by violence from above, through cruel Juno's unforgiving wrath, and much enduring in war also, till he should build a city and bring his gods to Latium, whence came the Latin race, the lords of Alba and the lofty walls of Rome. What kind of milk tea, though? Milk sweet drinks bad for throat. It's the store's usual milk tea with cheese and milk foam, because I love milk foam and cheese. I'm gonna sip again. Are you lactose intolerant, Claire? No, it's just bad for my throat. Wait, oh, I ordered matcha. Close enough. I know milk, it's bad for your throat. Okay, give me a second. Musa mihi causas memora, quo numine laeso, quidve dolens regina deum tot volvere casus, insignem pietate virum tot adire labores impulerit, tantene animis celestibus ire. Tell me, O Muse, the cause, wherein thwarted in will, or wherefore angered, did the Queen of Heaven drive a man of goodness so wondrous to traverse so many perils, to face so many toils? Can heavenly spirits cherish resentment so dire? This next one's a bit of a read. Urbs antiqua fuit, tiri tenuere coloni, Carthago, Italiam contra Tiberinaque longe ostia, dives opum studisque asperima belli, quam iuno fertur terris magis omnibus unam, post habite cod Luise samo, hic Ilios arma, hic curus fuit, hoc regnum Dea gentibus esse, si qua fata sinant, iam tum tentique fovedque. Progeniam sed enim Trojano a sanguine duci audierat, dirias olimque verteret arges, hinc populum late regem belloque superbum venturum exidio libie. Sic volvere parcas, it metuens, veterisque memor Saturnia belli, prima quod ad Trojam procaris gesserat argis, nectum etiam cause et irarum sevique dolores exideran animo, manet alta meltere postum judicium paridis, speritaque iniuria forme, et genus invisum, et rapi Ganymedes honores. His accensa super, iactatos ecore toto troas, religias donaum atque imitis Achilli. Arcebat longes latio, multosque per annos erraban, activatis Maria omnia circum, tante modis erat Romanam condere gentem. Translated, there was an ancient city in the home of Tyrian settlers, Carthage, over against Italy and the Tiber's mouth so far, rich in wealth and stern in war's pursuits. This, 'tis said, you know love above all other lands, holding sorry about the pronunciations, holding Samos itself less dear. Here was her armor, here her chariot, that here should be the capital of the nations, should the fates perchance allow it, was even then the goddess's aim and cherished hope. Yet in truth she had heard that a race was springing from Trojan blood, to overthrow some day the Tyrian towers, that from it a people, kings of broad realms and proud in war, should come forth for Libya's downfall. So ruled the wheel of fate. The daughter of Saturn, fearful of this and mindful of the old war, which erstwhile she had fought at Troy for her beloved Argos, not yet too had the cause of her wrath and her bitter sorrows faded from her mind. Deep in her heart remained the judgment of Paris and the outrage to her slighted beauty, her hatred of the race and the honored pace to ravish Ganymede, inflamed hereby yet more. She tossed on wide main the Trojan remnant, left by the Greeks and pitiless Achilles, and kept them far from Latium, and many a year they wandered, driven by the fates over all the seas. So vast was the effort to found the Roman race. Vix e conspectus siculae terluris in altum vela dabant laeti, et spumas sales aere rueban, cum iuno aeternum servans sub pectore volnus, haec secum. Mene incepto desistere victam, nec posse Italiateorum avertere regem, quipe vetor fatis, palasne exurere classem, argivam atque ipsos potuit submergere ponto, unius obnoxam et furias Aiacis oile. Ipsa, Iovis rapidum iaculata en ubibus ignem, disiacite rates, evertitque aecora ventis, illum expirantem transficto per tore flammas, turbine corripuit scopuloque infixit acuto. As ego, quae divum incedo regina, idiovisque et soror et coniunx, una congente tot annos belagero, et quiscam numen Iunonis adoret praeterea, aut supplex arex imponet honorem. I should probably drop some links in chat. Hang on. Just so everyone knows the sources. Hardly out of sight of Sicilian land, where they were spreading their sails seaward, and merrily ploughing the foaming brine with brazen prow, when Juno, nursing an undying wound deep in her heart, spoke thus to herself: What? I resign my purpose, baffled, and fail to turn from Italy the Teucrian king. The fates doubtless forbid me. Had Pallas power to burn up the Argive fleet and sink sailors in the deep, because of one single man's guilt and the frenzy of Ajax, son of Oileus? Her own hand hurled from the clouds Jove's swift flame, scattered their ships, and upheaved the sea in tempest. But him, as with pierced breast he breathed forth flame, she caught in a whirlwind and impaled on a spiky crag. Yet I, who move as queen of gods, at once sister and wife of Jove, with one people am warring these many years. And will any still worship Juno's godhead, or humbly lay sacrifice upon her altars? Talia flamatus secum dea corte volutans, nimborum in patriam, loca feta furentibus Austris Aeoliam venit. Hic vasto rex Aeolus, antro luctantes vento, tempestates que sonoras imperio premit, ac vinclis et carcere frenat. Ili indignantes magno cum murmure montis, circum claustra fremunt. Celsa sidet Aeolus arges sceptra tenens, molitque animos et temperat iras. Ni faciat, Maria acteras celumque profundum cipe ferant, rapidis secum verranque per auras. Sed pater omnipotens speluncis abdidit atris, hoc metuens molemque et montis in super altos imposuit. Regemque dedit, qui federe certo et premere et laxas giret dacte iusus habenas, atquem tu immuno supplex his vocibus usa est. Thus inwardly brooding with heart inflamed, the goddess came to Aeolia, motherland of storm clouds, tracts teeming with furious blasts. Here in his vast cavern, Aeolus, their king, keeps under his sway, and with prison bonds curbs the struggling winds and the roaring gales. They, to the mountain's mighty moans, chafe blustering around the barriers. In his lofty citadel sits Aeolus, scepter in hand, taming their passions and soothing their rage. Did he not so, they would surely bear off with them in wild flight seas and lands and the vault of heaven, sweeping them through space. But fearful of this, the Father Omnipotent hid them in gloomy caverns, and over them piled high mountain masses, and gave them a king, who under fixed covenant should be skilled to tighten and loosen the reins at command. Him Juno now addressed thus in suppliant speech. Water. Aeole, namque tibi divum pater atque hominum rex, et mulcere dedit fluctus et tolere vento, gens inimica mihi Tirenom navigat aequor. Ilium in Italiam porcans victosque penates, incute vim ventis submersaque obrue pupes, aut age diversos et disique corpora ponto, sunt mihi bis septembre stanti corpore nymphae, quorumque forma pulcherima Deopia, connubio inungam stabili propriamque dicabo, omnis untecum meritis pro talibus annos exigat, et pulchra faciat de prole parentem. Aeolus, for to you the Father of gods and King of men has given power to claim and uplift the waves with the wind. A people hateful to me sails the Tyrrhene Sea, carrying into Italy's Ilium vanquished gods. Hurl fury into your winds, sink and overwhelm the ships, or drive the men asunder and scatter their bodies on the deep. Twice 7 nymphs have I of wondrous beauty, of whom Deopia, fairest of form, I will link to you in wedlock, making her yours forever, that for such service of yours she may spend all her years with you, and make you father of fair offspring. Breathing. Thank you, Crispy. Not forgetting to breathe. Not me forgetting to breathe. Aeolus haec contra, tuus orehina, quid optes explorare labor mihi iusa capesere fas est, tu mihi, quodcunque hoc regni, tu sceptra io vivemque concilias, dudas epulis accumbere divum, nimborumque facis, tempestatumque potentem. Thus answered Aeolus, your task, O queen, is to search out your desire. My duty is to do your bidding. To your grace I owe all this my realm, to your grace my scepter and Jovis favor. You grant me a couch at the feasts of the gods, and make me lord of clouds and storms. Haec ube dicta, cavum conversa cuspide montem impulit in latus, ac venti velut ad mine facto, quodata porta runt et terras turbine perflant. Incubere mari, totumque a sedibus imis un erusque notusque runt creberque procelis Africus, et vastus volvunt ad litora fluctus. Insequitur clamorque virum stirdoque rudentum, eripiont subito nubes celumque dionque. Teocrorum ex oculis, ponton nox incubat atra. Intonuere poli, et crebes micat ignibus aether, praesentemque viris intenant omnia mortem. So he spoke, and turning his spear, smote the hollow mount on its side, when lo! The winds, as if in armed array, rush forth where passage is given, and blow in storm blasts across the world. They swoop down upon the sea, and from its lowest depths upheave it all, east and south winds together, and the southwester, thick with tempests, and shoreward roll vast billows. Sorry about that. 1 second, I have to check the verse numbers. Because I think some of the paragraphs got merged. Ah, there we go. Okay, I know where to stop. Then come the cries of men and creaking of cables. In a moment, clouds snatch sky and day from the Trojans' eyes. Black night broods over the deep. From pole to pole it thunders. The skies lighten with frequent flashes. All forebodes the sailor's instant death. Ex templo aenee solvuntur frigore membra, ingemit et duplicis tendens ad sidera palmas talia voce refert. Oterque quoterque beati, quis ante ora patrum Troiae sub moenibus altis contigit opetere. Odanam fortissime gentes tidide, men Iliacis occumbere campis non potuisse, tuaque animam hanc effundere dextra, saevus ubi aegidae telo iacet Hector, ubi ingens Sarpedon, ubi tot Simoes correpta sub undis scuta, virum galesque et fortia corpora volpit. Straightway Aeneas' limbs weaken with chilling dread. He groans, and stretching his 2 upturned hands to heaven, thus cries aloud, O thrice and 4 times blessed, whose lot it was to meet death before their father's eyes, beneath the lofty walls of Troy, O son of Tydeus, bravest of the Danaan race, that I could not fall on the Ilian plains and gasp out this lifeblood at your hand, where under the spear of Aegidates fierce Hector lies prostrate, and mighty Sarpedon, where Simois seizes and sweeps beneath his waves so many shields and helms and bodies of the brave. Talia iactanti stridens aquilone procella, velum adversa ferit, fluctusque adsidera tolit, franguntur remi, tu prora avertit, et undis dat latus, in sequitur cumulo praeruptus aquae mons, his sumo in fluctu pendent, his unda de hiscens terram inter fluctus aperit, furit aestus harenis, tris notus abreptas in saxa latentia torquet, saca vocant Itali medis quae in fluctibum aras, dorsum immane mari sumo, 3 euros ab alto in brevia et sirtis urget. Miserabile visu, in lidice vadis atque agere cingit harenei, unam, quae licios fidumque vehebat oronten, ipsius ante oculos ingens avertice, pontus in pupim ferit, ecutitur pronusce magister, volvitur in caput, as illam ter fluctus ibidem torquet argens circum, et rapitus vorat aecore vortex, ad parent rarinantes in curgite vasto, arma virum, tabulege et Troia Gaza per undas, iam validam ilinoe navem, iam fortis acati, et qua vectus abas, et qua grandevos aletes, victiems laxis laterum compagibus omnes, accipiunt inimicum imbrem, vimisce fatiscunt. Again, I'm going to look up a pronunciation thing. Also, there's a mosquito here. Nope. Can't destroy it yet. Well, got him. X is pronounced K. That's okay. I was overthinking it. As he flings forth such words, a gust shrieking from the north strikes full on his sail and lifts the waves to heaven. The oars snap. Then the prow swings round and gives the broadside to the waves. Down in heap comes a sheer mountain of water. Some of the seamen hang up the billow's crest, to others the yawning sea shows ground beneath the waves. The surges seethe with sand. 3 ships the south wind catches and hurls on hidden rocks. Rocks the Italians call the altars, rising amidst the waves, a huge ridge topping the sea. 3 the east forces from the deep into shallows and sandbanks, a piteous sight, dashes on soles and girds with a mound of sand. One which bore the Lycians and loyal Orontes. Before the eyes of Aeneas, a mighty toppling wave strikes astern. The helmsman is dashed out and hurled head foremost. But the ship is thrice on the same spot, whirled round and round by the wave, and engulfed in the sea's devouring eddy. Here and there are seen swimmers in the vast abyss, with weapons of men, planks, and Trojan treasure amid the waves. Now the stout ship of Ilioneus, now of brave Achates, and that wherein Abba sailed, and that of aged Alytus, the storm has mastered, with side joints loosened, all let in the hostile flood and gape at every seam. Milk tea break. Hang on. Goodness, we're not even halfway through. How's chat doing? How's chat holding up? Gonna turn off the mic every now and then because there's tapioca in this milk tea. All right, the tapioca's been demolished. Chat's doing fine. That's good to hear. Give me a moment. We'll get back to the dead sailors in a second. Though I did forget to say in the first part of stream, we are doing book one, which I doubt we'll even finish during stream. The first part was called Invocation to the Muse, and the current part, there was the anger of Juno. Juno asks Aeolus for help. Aeolus raises the storm. I think the next part is Neptune intervenes. You know, the god's doing something useful for once. How about you? Doing great. The milk tea is good, and I haven't actually done this before, so I'm just playing it by ear. Haha, no pun intended. And hoping everything's turning out well. I think it's turning out well. I hope it is. It's just a cup of water and we'll see what Neptune does. Fun fact, my pronunciation is not what it used to be. I haven't practiced in a while. Interiam hac nomis ceri murmure pontum, emisamque hiemen sensit Neptunus, et imi stagna refusa vadis, raviter commotus, et alto propisciens summa placidum caput extulit unda. Disiectam aenee, toto videt aequore classem, fluctibus oppressos troas cae lice ruina, nec lautere doli fratrem Iononis et ire, eorum ad se zephirumque vocat, de hinctalia fatur. Meanwhile, Neptune saw the sea in turmoil of wild uproar, the storm let loose and the still waters seething up from their lowest depths. Greatly troubled was he, and gazing out over the deep, he raised a composed countenance above the water's surface. He sees Aeneas' fleet scattered over all the sea, the Trojans overwhelmed by the waves and by the falling heavens, nor did Juno's wiles and wrath escape her brother's eye. East wind and west he calls before him, then speaks thus. Tantanefos generis tenuit fiducia vestri, eam caelum teramque meo sine numine, venti, miscere, et tantas audetis tolere moles, quos ego, set motos prestat componere fluctus, post mihi non simili poena commissa luetis, maturate fugam, regice hat dicite vestro, non ili imperium pelagis saevumque tridentem, sed mihi sorte datum, tenet ile in mania saxa, vestras, iuri, domos, illa se iactet in aula Aeolus, et lasso venturum carcere regnet. Has pride in your birth so gained control of you? Do you now dare, winds, without command of mine, to mingle earth and sky and raise confusion thus? Whom I? But better this to claim the troubled waves. Hereafter, with another penalty shall you pay me for your crimes. Speed your flight and bear this word to your king. Not to him, but to me were given by lot the lordship of the sea and the dread Triton. He holds the savage rocks, home of you and yours. East wind, in that hall let Aeolus lord it and rule within the barred prison of the winds. Sic ait, et dicto citius tumida aequora placat, collectasque fugat nubes, solemque reducit. Cimo toe simul et Triton ad nixus acuto, detrudunt navis scopulo, devat ipse tridenti, et vastas aperit sirtis, et temperat aequor, atque rotis sumas levibus perlabitur undas. Ac veluti magno in populo cum saepe coorta est sedictio, saevitque animis ignobile volcus, iamque faces et saxa volant, furor arma ministrat tum, pietate gravem ac meritis si forte virum, quem conspexere, silent, arectisque auribus adstant. Ille regit dictis animos, et pectora mulcet. Sic cunctus pelagi cecidit fragor, aegora postquam prospiciens genitor cae locoe, invectus aperto flectit equos, curuque volans dat lora secundo. Thus he speaks, and swifter than his word he clams the swollen seas, puts to flight the gathered clouds, and brings back the sun. Timothoi and Triton, with common effort, thrust the ships from the sharp rock. The god himself levers them up with his trident, opens the vast quicksands, allays the flood, and on light wheels glides over the topmost waters. And as, when oft times in the great nation tumult has risen, the base rabble rage angrily, and out brands and stones fly, madness lending arms. Then if perchance they set eyes on a man honored for noble character and service, they are silent and stand by with attentive ears. With speech he sways their passion and soothes their breasts. Just so, all the roar of ocean sank, soon as the sire, looking forth upon the waters and driving under a clear sky, guides his steeds, and flying onward, gives reins to his willing car. I keep commenting, but this is the first time I'm going to comment on the translation. This is a weird translation with mentions of wheels and car. I know it's properly historical, but still it is weird to the modern ear. Yes, they actually use the word car in the translation by Fairclough. Defesi aenedae, quae proxima litora, cursu contendunt petere, et Libiae vertuntur ad horas. Est in secesu longo locus, insula portum efficit objectu laterum, quibus omnis ab alto frangitur, inque sinus scindit sese unda reductos. Hinc atque, hinc vaste rupes geminice miniantur in caelum scopuli, quorum sub vertice late aequora tuta silent, tum silvis scaena coruscis, de super horentice atrum nemus iminet umbra, fronte sub adversa scopulis pendentibus ad antrum, intus atque dulces vivoces sedilia saxo, nympharum domus, hic fessas non vincula navis, ulla tenent, unco non aligat ancora morsu, huc septem Aeneas collectis navibus omni ex numero subit, ac magno telluris amore egressi optata pontiuntur Troes harenat, et sale tabentis artus in lictore ponunt. Ac primum siligis scintillam excudit Achates, succepitque ignem foliis, atque arida circum nutrimenta dedit, rapitque in fomite flammam, tum cererem corruptam undis cerealice arma expediunt vesirerum, frugesque receptas et torere parant flammis et frangere saxo. The wearied followers of Aeneas strive to run for the nearest shore and turn toward the coast of Libya. There in a deep inlet lies a spot where an island forms a harbor with a barrier of its side, on which every wave from the main is broken, then parts into receding ripples. On either side loom heavenward huge cliffs and twin peaks, beneath whose crest far and wide is the stillness of sheltered water. Above, too, is a background of shimmering woods with an overhanging grove, black with gloomy shade. Under the brow of the fronting cliff is a cave of hanging rocks, Within are fresh water and seats in living stone, a haunt of nymphs. Here no fetters imprison weary ships, no anchor holds them fast with hooked bite. Here, with 7 ships mustered from all his fleet, Aeneas takes shelter, and disembarking with earnest longing for the land, the Trojans gain the welcome beach and stretch their brine-drenched limbs upon the shore. At once Achates struck a spar from a flint, caught the fire in leaves, laid dry fuel about, and waved the flame amid the tinder. Then, wearied with their lot, they take out the corn of Ceres, spoiled by the waves, with the tools of Geras, and prepare to parch the rescued grain in the fire and crush it under the stone. Hang on, more pronunciation guides. CH nearly equal to hard C, only difference that CH is aspirated. Okay, I was so close to proper C pronunciation. Has anyone in chat ever been on a boat? I've been on boats for a few times, but they were during good weather. Except for that one time where kids actually thought they were going to die. But I was pretty confident in our survival rates. What kind of boats? Any really. I've been on one of those ships/floating libraries where they sell books. I've also been on tiny fishing vessels out to sea. I don't even remember why. I've been on ferries towards islands and back. That one of those islands was where I got the bad weather experience. It was fun. The waves were just a bit large. We were also it was an open fishing vessel too, so there was water everywhere. The second set of ferries wasn't as bad. It was an actual speedboat with a roof and rooms and such. The sea do be raw. It do be raw. Read enough about the sea and you get a healthy respect for it. Respect the ocean, or else she will make you respect her, and it will be painful. Yeah, drop your boat experiences in chat if you have any. Yeah, I think those are the only boats I've ever been on. No, I haven't been on a cruise ship. That seems incredibly wasteful. Okay, where were we? Huh? I remember kayak. Yeah, I gotta find my place. The first numbers are pretty staggered. I remember kayaking in the school trip. Was it fun? I've never actually gone kayaking before, or at least from what I remember. Sounds fun though, if you're not an extreme kayaker and go into incredibly dangerous places for the adrenaline. Oh, I think they skipped some lines. And I the English translation got a little ahead of itself. How can you tell lines were skipped? Well, my sources have line numbers, and I'm making probably for translation purposes, so you know exactly which line was translated. but they're not very well annotated. That and I already know a little Latin, so I can pick up enough to differentiate what each line is saying and match it with the English translation. I don't know a lot. I don't actually know a lot of Latin though. Okay, how do I do this? Okay, I think I'm gonna have to go back to the Latin translation and catch up. But that translation doesn't make sense. Yeah, I really did skip an entire Latin passage. Whoops. So more Latin than I know, I guess. Then again, if you know English, you probably know a very small smattering of Latin solely from the fact that English mugs other languages for work, for spare change. And it really is just a bunch of languages stacked on top of one another, masquerading to be one language. Okay, back to reading. Defesi Aeneida quae proxima litora, cursu contendunt petere et Libiae tuntur ad ora. Wait, I've already read this. I don't remember reading. Did I already read this? No, it's just a problem of memory. Oh wait, I have read this. We were on the right track this whole time. My brain, why doesn't it work? Oh well, that makes it easy. Skip over to the next passage. Aenea scopulum interia condescendit, et omnem prospectum late pelago petit. Antea siquem iactatum vento videat frigiasque biremis, aut capin, aut celsis in pupius arma caeci, navem in conspectu nullam, tris litore cervus prospicit erantis, hostota armenta secuntur a tergo, et longum per valis pascitur agmen. Constitit hic arcumque manu celerisque, sagittas corripuit, fidus quae tela gerabat acates. Ductoresque ipsos primum, capita alta ferentis cornibus abores sternit, dum volgus et omnem miscet agens stelis nemora inter frondia turbam. Nec prius absistit, quam septem ingentia victor corpora fundat humi, et numerum cum navibus aequet. Hinc portum petit, et socios partitur in omnes, vina bonus quae deinde cadis onerarat acestes, litore trinacrio dederatque abeuntibus heros, dividit et dictis maerentia pectora mulcet. Meanwhile, Aeneas climbs a peak and seeks a full view far and wide over the deep, if he may but see aught of storm-tossed Antheus and his Phrygian galleys, or of Capys or the arms of Caicus on the high stern. There is no ship in sight. He descries 3 stags straying on the shore. Whole herds follow behind these, and in long line graze down the valley. Thereon he stopped and seized in his hand his bow and swift arrows, the arms borne by faithful Achates, and first he lays low the leaders themselves, their heads held high with branching antlers, then routs the herd and all the common sort, driving them with his darts among the leafy woods. Nor does he stay his hand, till 7 huge forms he stretches victoriously on the ground, equal in number to his ships. Then he seeks the harbor and divides them among all his company. Next he shares the wine, which good Acestes had stowed in jars on the Trinacrian shore, and hero-like had given at parting, and speaking thus clamps their sorrowing hearts. Chickens are going wild again. What do they want? Osoki, neque enim ignari sumus ante malorum, opassi graviora. Dabit Deus his quoque finem, vos et scyllaeam rabiem penitusque sonantis accestis scopulus, vos et cyclopia saxa experti, revocate animos, maestumque timorem mitite, forsan et haec olim meminisse iuvabit. Per varios casus, per tot discrimina rerum tendimus in Latium, sedes ubi fatat pietas ostendunt, illic fas regna resurgere Troiae, durate et vosmet rebus servate secundis. O comrades, for ere this we have not been ignorant of misfortune. You who have suffered worse, this also God will end. You drew near to Scylla's fury and her deep echoing crags. You have known, too, the rocks of the Cyclops. Recall your courage and banish sad fear. Perhaps even this distress it will someday be a joy to recall. Through varied fortunes, through countless hazards, we journey towards Latium, where fate promises a home of peace. There it is granted that Troy's realm shall rise again, endure, and live for a happier day. Hang on. Long consonant, got it. I'm just rechecking my pronunciation every now and then. I should really go back to studying Latin. It's useful. It's useful for me because I make things. Talia voce refert, curisque in gentimus aeger spem voltu simulat. Premit altum corde dolorem, illi se praedea accingunt, tapibusque futuris, tergora deripiunt costis et viscera nudan, paris in frusta secant veribusque trementia figunt. Litore aena locant ali, thamasque ministrant, tum victor revocant vires, fusique per herbam intentur veteris baci pingisque ferine, postquam exempta fames epulis menseque remote, amisos longos socios sermone requirunt, spemque metumque inter dubi, seu vivere credant, sive extrema patin nec iam exaudire vocatos, praecipue pius Aeneas nunc acris oronti, nunc amici casum gemit et crudelia secum fatalici, fortemque gian, fortemque cloantum. Such words he spoke, while sick with deep distress, he feigns hope on his face, and deep in his heart it stifles his anguish. The others prepare the spoil, the feast that is to be. They flay the hides from the ribs, and lay bare the flesh. Some cut it into pieces and impale it, still quivering on spits. Others set cauldrons on the shore and feed them with fire. And with food they revive their strength, and stretched along the grass take their fill of old wine and fat venison. When hunger was banished by the feast and the board was cleared, in long discourse they yearned for their lost comrades, between hope and fear, uncertain whether to deem them still alive, or bearing the final doom and hearing no more when called. More than the rest does loyal Aeneas in silence, mourn the loss now of valiant Orontes, now of Amycus, the cruel doom of Lycus, brave Gyas, and the brave Cloanthus. Et iam finis erat, cum Jupiter aetere sumo despiciens mare velivolum terrasque iacentis, litorarque et latus populus, sic vertice caeli constitit, et Libiae defixit lumina regnis, atque illum tanis iactantem pecoret curas tristior, et lacrimis oculos suffusa nitentis ad locitur Venus. O qui res hominumque deumque aeternis regis imperis, et fulmine teres, quid meas aeneas inte committere tantum, quid troes potuere, quibus tot funera passis, cunctus ob Italiam terrarum clauditer orbis, certe hinc Romanus olim, volventibus annis, hinc fore ductores, revocato a sanguine teucri, qui mare, qui terras omni dicione tenerent, policitus, quae te genitor, sententia vertit, hoc equidem casum Troiae tristique ruina celebar, fatis contraria fata rependens, nunc eadem fortuna viros tot casibus actos in sequitur, quem das finem rex magne laborum. Antenor potuit, mediis elapsus acivis, Illyricos penetrare sinus, atque intima tutus regna libur norum, et fontes superare timavi, unde per ora novem vastucum murmure montis, it mare porruptum et pelago premit arva sonanti. Hic tamen ille urbem patavi sedesque locavit teucrorum, et genti nomen dedit, armaque fixit Troia, nunc placida compostus pace quiesit, nos tua progenies, caele quibus ad nuis arcem, navibus infandum, amicis unius ob iram prodimur, atque Italis longe disjungimur oris, hic pietatis onos, sic nos in scepta reponis. I think we're already at Venus intercedes with Jupiter, and knowing the gods, it's probably not going to go well. Cue pronunciation. Hang on, I gotta... Oh, it's still the same as English. Cool. Anyway, this is a bit of a long read. Hang on, did stream die? Oh good, it didn't. Now all was ended when from the sky summit Jupiter looked forth upon the sail-winged sea and outspread lands, the shores and people far and wide, and looking, paused on heaven's height and cast his eyes on Libya's realm. And lo, as on such cares he pondered in heart, Venus, saddened and her bright eyes brimming with tears, spoke to him. You that with eternal sway rule the world of men and gods, and frighten with your bolt, what great crime could my Aeneas, could my Trojans, have wrought against you, to whom, after many disasters born, the whole world is barred for Italy's sake? Surely it was your promise that from them some time, as the years rolled on, the Romans were to arise. From them, even from Teucer's restored line, should come rulers to hold the sea and all lands beneath their sway. What thought, father, has turned you? That promise indeed was my comfort for Troy's fall and sad overthrow, when I weighed fate against the fates opposed. Now, though tried by so many disasters, the same fortune dogs them. What end of their toils, great king, do you grant? Antenor could escape the Achaean host, thread safely through the Illyrian gulfs and inmost realms of the Liburnians, and pass the springs of Timavus, and whence through 9 mouths, with the mountain's mighty roar, it comes a bursting flood and buries the fields under its sounding sea. Yet here he set Padua's town, a home for his dead Teucrians, gave a name to the race, and hung up the arms of Troy. Now settled in tranquil peace, he is at rest. But we, your offspring, to whom you grant the heights of heaven, have lost our ships. O shame unutterable! And to appease one angry foe, are betrayed and kept far from Italian shores. And thus is piety honored. Is this the way you restore us to empire? Stream not dead. Good. Because my chat refreshed itself for a second. Oh. Oh, God. This is the longest passage yet. Alright, this is gonna take some time. Oli subridens hominum sator atque deorum voltu, quocaelum tempestas tesque serenat, oscula libavit natae, de hintalia fatur, parce me tu, citeria, manad immota tuorum fata tibi. Cernes urbem et promisa lavini Moenia, sublimemque feres ad sidera caeli magnanimum aenean, nequem et sententia vertit. Hic tibi, favor enim quando haec de cura remortet, longius et volvens fatorum arcana movebo. Bellum ingens geret Italia, populosque feroces contudet. Moresque viris et Moenia ponent, tertia dum Latio regnantem viderit aestas, ternaque transierint Rutulius hiberna subactis, ad puer Ascanius, qui nunc nomen Iulo aditur, illus erat dum restetit Ilia regno, triginta magnus volventis mensibus orbis, imperio explebit. Regnumque absede Lavini transferet, et longa multa muniat albam, hic iam tergentum totos regnabitur annos gente sub Hectorea, donec regina Sarcedos, Marte gravis, geminam partu David Ilia prodem. Inde lupe fulvot nutricis tegmine laetus Romulus excipiet gentem, et mavortia condent Moenia, Romanosque suode nomina dicet. His ego nec metas rerum nec tempora pono, imperium sine fidi dedi, quin aspera iuno, quae mare nuc terasque metu caelumque fatigat, consilia in melius referet, mecumque fovebit Romanus rerum dominus gentemque togatam sic placitum. Veniat lustris labentibus aetas, cum domus Assaraci tiam, clarasque micenas servitio premet, ac victis dominabitur arcis, nascetur pulca Troianus origines Caesar, imperium Oceano, famam qui terminet astris, Iulius, a magno demisum nomen Iulo. Huncto olim caelo, spoliis orientis onustum, accipia secura, vocabitur hit quoque votis. Asperatum positis mitescent saecula bellis, cana fides et vesta remo cum frate Quirinus, iura dabunt, dirae fero et compagibus artis claudentur belli porte. Furor impius intus, saeva seden super arma, et centum vinctus aenis post tergum nodis, remet horridus ore cruento. That was a lot. Ooh, that's a translation. I'm not sure how to feel about this. Smiling on her with that look wherewith he clears sky and storms, the father of men and gods gently kissed his daughter's lips and spoke thus. Spare your fears, Lady of Cythera. Your children's fates abide unmoved. You will see Lavinium's city and its promised walls, and your great-souled Aeneas you will raise on high to the starry heaven. Know thou hast turned me. I think this translation is misspelled. This your son, for this care gnaws your heart, I will speak, and further unrolling the scroll of fate, will disclose its secrets, shall wage a great war in Italy, shall crush proud nations, and for his people shall set up laws in city walls, till the third summer has seen him reigning in Latium, and 3 winters have passed in camp, since the Rutulians were laid low. But the lad Ascanius, now surnamed Iulus he was, while the Ilian state stood firm in sovereignty, shall fulfill his empire 30 great circles of rolling months, shall ships his throne from Lavinium's seat, and, great in power, shall build the walls of Alba Longa. Here then, for thrice 100 years unbroken, shall the kingdom endure under Hector's race, until Ilia, a royal priestess, shall bear to Mars her twin offspring. Then Romulus, proud in the tawny hide of a she-wolf, his nurse, shall take up the line and found the walls of Mars, and call the people Romans after his own name. For these I set no bounds in space or time, but I have given empire without end. Spiteful Juno, who now in fear troubles sea and earth and sky, shall change to better counsels, and with me cherish the Romans, lords of the world and the nation of the toga. Thus it is decreed, there shall come a day, as the sacred seasons glide past, when the house of Asacrus shall bring into bondage Thea and famed Mycenae, and hold lordship over vanquished Argos. From this noble line shall be born the Trojan Caesar, who shall extend his empire to the ocean, his glory to the stars. Iulius, name descended from great Iulus. Him, in days to come, shall you, anxious no more, welcome to heaven, laden with eastern spoils. He too shall be invoked in vows. Then wars shall cease and savage ages soften. Hoary Faith and Vesta, Quirinus with his brother Remus, shall give laws. The gates of war, grim with iron and close-fitting bars, shall be closed within. Impious rage, sitting on savage arms, his hands fast bound behind him with 100 brazen knots, shall roar in the ghastliness of blood-stained lips. It's now laying down on the couch. Okay, I think now's a good time for a milk tea break. Oh, you finished the game? Nice. Were the spoils good? Did you succeed? Did you get the #1 victory royale, Countess? I'm surprised they didn't put ice in this. Yeah. No reading for a while. I'm gonna wait till 4. Boba break. How's Chad doing? Are you alright? Got nothing good. Shame. Why must RNG be so cruel to us? Why won't Zhongli come home? Someday your luck will return, and it will be great, and you will get a bunch of things that you actually wanted and maybe needed. I don't know. Sometimes the things you want in gotcha aren't the best, but who cares? You want them, and that's what matters. I wonder if anyone actually followed the story. Hang on. Tapioca. Okay, there we go. I wonder if someone actually followed the story, because the problem with classical literature and ancient literature is that they're so obtuse. They're so hard to understand. You have to make several passes over one passage. Oh, it's not even limited to classical and ancient literature, because I just remembered, what's his name? The philosopher who thought of thesis, antithesis, and synthesis. What's his name again? Hegel. I was forced to read Hegel in college, and it was the worst thing I have ever read. His writings would make sense, but he's just not a great writer. That's me being generous. The game I'm playing now has its own version of your 50-50, except it's worse since it's 2872. That number seems incredibly arbitrary. Why 2872? For what purpose? What game is this, if you don't mind me asking? You don't have to answer if you don't want to, of course. I got an idea. Uh, Also, that choking noise was because I swallowed tapioca. Oops. Here we go. Since the scenario is at the beach. I don't know if that still counts as ASMR, but okay. I clearly have no idea what I'm doing. Please be patient with me. This is my nose, by the way. Let's drop it in chat. This is the Pebble Beach from My Noise. I recommend My Noise since you can muck around with the frequency so that you can block out whatever you need. Thought it was literally from some playlist of audios he made. Unfortunately, I'm not. My Noise is on another level. When they heard My Noise, oh, fair. That's a fair assumption. I just realized that. Yeah, I would. Unfortunately, I'm not skilled enough to make something like My Noise. .net. Okay, let's just tack on a .net just to fix it. I'm not savvy enough to make entire soundscapes. Maybe I can make like a minute of a clock ticking, some simple sound effects. But not this. This is on another level. It doesn't show the frequency numbers. Oh well. Oh, it's 4. A few more minutes. I also have a tab about. Wait, how do you even pronounce? Okay, I'm gonna drop a fun fact on everyone. Virgil, the guy who wrote the Aeneid, which we're reading today, his full name is Publius Vergilius Maro. That makes him sound like it makes him sound like an orphan. What the heck? Oh, there's not enough info on. No, he had parents, but Publius is such a weird name. Gens Vergilia is poorly attested. Oh, okay, so people hated his father's family. Okay. Sorry, Virgil. Sorry, Publius. Publius Vergilius Maro. I'm not gonna call him by his full name. Reception of the Aeneid. Yeah, I'm just looking through the Wikipedia page for a bit before continuing. Oh my god! Apparently Virgil wanted the Aeneid to be burned, but his publisher and Augustus ordered it to be published with as little changes as possible. So technically, the version of the Aeneid we have today is unedited. Oh dear. Then again, I don't know what would have been edited out. The only obvious imperfections are a few lines of verse that are metrically unfinished. Ah, okay. So weird how we argue over this author didn't finish this line properly. What does it mean? I think some English teachers do take it a little far, ascribing meaning to where there is none. But still, sometimes the reasons for strange things are just very banal, like, I forgot. Or I don't know how to do that, so I left it like that. Okay, it's almost 4:05. Okay, let's continue. I don't know if I'm going to end stream at 5 sharp. I mean, I might be able to continue it, but who knows? I might be forced to cook again, and I don't know what to cook. If you guys have any suggestions as to what I can cook for later, please let me know. I think there's still pork in the fridge. There's a lot of chicken. There's also vegetables, I guess. Also, we don't have a lot of oil, so please don't suggest deep frying stuff. Okay, I think we're on the cusp of Book 1, verses 372 to 417. Venus directs... Oh, wait, no. Wait, this is Jupiter's prophecy. So next will be Venus speaks to Aeneas, Book 1, 297 to 371. We are at verse 297. Haec ait, et Maya genitum demitit ab alto, ut terre, utque nove pateant Carthaginis arces hospitio Teucris, nefati nescia dido finibus arceret, volat ille per aera magnum remicio alarum, ac libies quitus adstitit oris, et iam iusa facit, ponunque ferocia poenicorda volente Dio, in primis regina quietum accipit in Teucros, animum mentemque benignam. So speaking, he sends the son of Maya down from heaven, that the land and towers of new-built Carthage may open to greet the Teucrians, and Dido, ignorant of fate, might not bar them from her lands. Through the wide air he flies on the oarage of wings, and speedily alights on the Libyan coast. At once he does his bidding, and God willing it, the Phoenicians lay aside their savage thoughts. Above all, the queen receives a gentle mind and gracious purpose towards the Teucrians. At pius Aeneas, per noctem plurima volvens, ut primum lux alma data est, exire locosque explorare novos, quas vento accesserit horas, qui teneant, nam inculta videt, homines neferaine, quaerere constituit, socisque exacta revere classem in convexo nemorum, sub rupe cavata ad poribus clausam circum, atque horrentibus umbres oculit. Ipse uno graditur comitatus acate, bina manu lato crispans hastilia ferro. Oh no, They combined the verses again. Cui mater media sese tulit ovia silva, virginis ot habitunque gerens, et virginis armas partene, vel qualis equas tresa fatigat harpalice, volum premque fuga praevertitur Hebrum, namque humeris demore habilem suspenderat arcum venatrix, dederatque spamam diffundere ventis, nuda genu, doque sinus collecta fluentis. At prior, heus, inquid iuvenes, monstrate mearum vidistis, siquam hic erantem forte sororum, succintam faretra et maculose tegmine lincis, aut spumantis apri cursum clamore prementem. But loyal Aeneas, through the night revolving many a care, as soon as kindly light was given, determines to issue forth and explore the strange country, to learn to what coasts he has come with a wind, who dwells there, man or beast, for all he sees is waste. Then bring back tidings to his friends. The fleet he hides in overarching groves beneath a hollow rock. Closely encircled by trees and quivering shade, then Achates alone attending himself strides forth, grasping in hand 2 shafts tipped with broad steel. Across his path, I may have been speaking a bit softly, sorry. Across his path, in the midst of the forest, came his mother, with a maiden's face and mien, and a maiden's arms, whether one of Sparta, or such a one as Thracian Harpalyce, where she outtires horses and outstrips the winged east wind in flight. For from her shoulders, in huntress fashion, she had slung the ready bow and given her hair to the winds to scatter. Her knee bare, and her flowing robes gathered in a knot. Before he speaks, "Ho!" she cries, "Tell me, youths, if perchance you have seen a sister of mine here straying, girt with a quiver and a dappled lynx's hide, or pressing with shouts on the track of a foaming boar." Sic Venus et Veneris contra sic filius Orsus, nulla tuarum audita mihi neque visat sororum. Aquam te memorem, Virgo? Namque haud divi voltus mortalis, nec vox hominem sonat. O, te acerte, an fuebi soror? An nympharum sanguinis una, sis Felix, nostrumque leves, quaecumque laborem et quo sub caelo tandem, quibus orbis in oris iacemtur toceas. Ignari hominumque locorumque eramus, vento huc vastis et fluctibus acti, multa tibi ante aras nostra cadet hostia dextra. Thus Venus, and thus in answer Venus' son began, "None of your sisters have I heard or seen, but by what name should I call you, maiden? For your face is not mortal, nor has your voice a human ring. O goddess, surely, sister of Phoebus, or one of the race of nymphs, show grace to us, whoever you may be, and lighten this our burden. Inform us, pray, beneath what sky, on what coasts of the world we are cast. Knowing nothing of countries or people we wander, driven hither by wind and huge billows, many a victim shall fall for you at our hand before your altars." It's interesting that there is a female character here who isn't solely a housewife. This woman looks like she can hunt. Or maybe she's just Diana in disguise. But wait, mother. Yeah, Achates' mother. Is she just Diana in disguise? Do we have a demigod in our midst? Tum Venus, haud equidem tali medignor honore, virginibus diris mos est gestare faretram, purpureoque alte suras vincire coturno, punica regne vides, Tyrios et agenoris urbem, sed finis libici, genus intractabile bello. Imperium Dido Tyria regit urbe profecta, Germanum fugiens. Longa est inuria, longe ambages, sed summa sequor fastigia rerum. Oh wait, she actually is Venus. Whoops. 335, they keep merging. The verses. Oh no. They're making me work. 1 second. 70. Okay, we are still good. Huic coinunx sicaius erat ditissimus agri Phoenicium, et magno misere dilectus amore, qui pater in tantam dederat, primisque iugarat omnibus, sed regna Tiri Germanus habebat Pygmalion, scelere ante alios imanier omnes, quos intermedius venit furor, ille sicaium impius ante aras, atque auri calicus amore, clam fero incautum superat, securus amorum Germane, factumque diuque lavit et aegram, multa malus simulans, vantas pelusit amantem, ipsa sed insomnis inhumanti venit imago coniugis, ora modis atolens pallida miris, crudeles aras traiectaque pectora fero nudavit, cae cumque domus scelus omni retexit, tum celerare fugam patriaque excedere suadet, auxiliumque veteres tellure recludit thesauros, ignotum argenti pondus et auri. His commota fugam Dido sociosque parabat, conveniunt quibus aut odium crudele tyranni ad metus acer erat navis, quae forte parate corripiunt, onerantque auro, portantur avari Pygmalionis opes pelago, nux femina facti. Devenere locos, ubi num ingentiat Cernis Moenia surgentem fue nove Cartaginis arcem, mercatique solum, facti nomine birsam, taurino quantum possent circumdante tergo, sed vos qui tandem, quibus aut venisis ab oris, cove tenetis iter, querenti talibus ille suspirans, imoque trahens abectore vocem. Then said Venus, Nay, I claim not such worship. Tyrian maids are wont to wear the quiver, and bind their ankles high with purple buskin. It is the Punic realm, you see. A moth tried to fly into my mouth. It is the Punic realm, you see, a Tyrian people, and the city of Agenor, but the bordering country is Libyan, a race unconquerable in war. Dido wields the scepter of Agenor. Dido wields the scepter. Dido, who fleeing from her brother, came from the city of Tyre. Long would be the tale of wrong, long its winding course, but the main heads of the story I will trace. Her husband was Zacchaeus, richest in gold of the Phoenicians, and fondly loved by the unhappy Dido. To him her father had given the maiden, yoking her to him in the first bridal auspices. But the kingdom of Tyre was in the hands of her brother Pygmalion, monstrous in crime beyond all others. Between these two came frenzy. Hang on, need hydration. The king, impiously before the altars and blinded by lust for gold, strikes down Zacchaeus unawares by stealthy blow, without a thought for his sister's love, and for long he hid the deed, and by many a pretense cunningly cheated the lovesick bride with empty hope. But in her sleep came the very ghost of her unburied husband, raising his pale face in wondrous wise, He laid bare the cruel altars and his breast pierced with steel, unveiling all the secret horror of the house. Then he bids her take speedy flight and leave her country, and to aid her journey brought to light treasures long hidden underground, a mass of gold and silver known to none. Moved by this, Dido made ready her flight and her company. Then all assemble who felt towards the tyrant relentless hatred or keen fear. Ships, by which chance were ready, they seize and load with gold. The wealth of grasping Pygmalion is borne overseas, the leader of the enterprise a woman. They came to the place where today you will see the huge walls and rising citadel of New Carthage, and bought ground. Byrsa they called it therefrom, as much they could encompass by a bull's hide, and they are choosing laws and magistrates and an august senate. But who, pray, are you, or from what coasts come, or whither you hold your course? As she questioned, thus he replied, sighing and drawing every word deep from his breast. Wow, I'm a bit out of breath. Hang on 1 second. Yeah, I'm a bit out of breath. Hang on. I don't know what to do in the meantime, though. How to I think I'll have to suffer a bit, but not sure what to do. How's chat doing? Tapioca, gotta preserve your ears. So I looked up Dido for a second, and turns out the Aeneid is partially story and partially historical, because people do realize Dido is an actual figure. Also known as Elisa, was the legendary founder and first queen of the Venetian city-state of Carthage, located in modern Tunisia. She's even on Tunisia's currency. Interesting. Okay, I think my breath has returned a bit. But if this keeps up, I'm probably gonna have to end at 5 or 5:30. 1 second though. Oh, monitoring is off. Good. So basically, we're still on the coasts of Libya, which is why I'm still keeping the beach sounds. Why not? Okay. You start at 372. Venus talking to Venus Sun, but they don't seem to. Oops. Venus' sun doesn't seem to recognize her. Odea, si prima repetens ab origina Pergam, et facet analis nostrorum audire laborum, ante diem clauso componat vesper Olimpo. Nostroia antiqua, si vestras forte per auris Troie nomen it, diversa per aecora vectos forte sua libicis tempestas ad pulit oris. Sum pius Aeneas, raptos qui ex hoste penatis classe vehubet mecum, fama super aetera noctus. Italiam quaero patriam et genus ab Iove sumo. Vistenis frigium consendi navibus aequor, matre dea monstrante viam, data fata secutus, vixepten convulsae undis Eurocle supersunt, ipse ignotus egens Libiae deserta per agro, Europa atque Asia pulsus, nec plura querentem passa Venus medio sic interfata dolore est. O goddess, should I, tracing back from the first beginning, go on to tell, and you have leisure to hear the story of our woes, sooner would heaven and close and evening lay the day to rest. From ancient Troy, if perchance the name of Troy has come to your ears, sailing over distant seas, the storm at its own caprice drove us to the Libyan coast. I am the loyal Aeneas, she was talking to Aeneas, who carry with me in my fleet, my household gods, snatched from the foe. My fame is known to the heavens above. It is Italy I seek, my father's land, and a race sprung from Jupiter most high. With twice 10 ships I embarked onto the Phrygian sea, following the fates declared, my goddess mother pointing me the way. Scarcely do 7 remain, shattered by waves and wind. Myself unknown and destitute, I wander over the Libyan wastes, driven from Europe and Asia. His further complaint Venus suffered not, but in the midst of his lament broke in thus. This is the problem with old literature. It gets confusing. Anyway. Quis es, haud credo, in visus caelestibus auras vitalis carpis, diriam qui adveneris urbem, perge modo, atque hinc de regine ad limita perfer, namque tibi reduces socios classemque relatam nuntio, et in tutum versis aquilonibus actam, ni frustra augurium vani doquere parentes, aspice bis senos laetantis ad mines cignos, aeteria quos lapsa plaga Iovis ales aperto turbabat caelo. Nunc terras ordine longo aut capere, aut captas iam vespectare videntur, ut reduces ili luduns ridentibus alis, et coeto cinxere polum, cantusque dedere, haud aliter pubesque tuorum, aut portum tenet aut pleno subit ostia velo, perge modo, et quod te ducit via, dirige gressum. Aspirated stuff. Give me a second. Pronounce a strong T. Oh, I was pronouncing them a bit weird, wasn't I? All right, let's keep going. Apparently, it's acceptable to pronounce TH as in thorn, but I prefer the less anglicized pronunciations, even though I'm not very familiar with them. Whoever you are, not hateful, I think, to the powers of heaven do you draw the breath of life, since you have reached the Tyrian city. Only go forward and make your way to the queen's palace, for I bring you tidings of your comrades restored and of your fleet recovered, driven to safe haven by shifting winds, unless my parents were false and vain the augury they taught me. Look at those 12 swans in exultant line which Jove's bird, swooping from the expanse of heaven, was harrying in the open air. Now in long array they seem either to be settling in their places, or already to be gazing down on the places where others have settled, as they, returning, sport with rustling wings, and in company have circled the sky and uttered their songs. With like joy, your ships and the men of your company have reached harbor already, or under full sail entered the river's mouth. Only go forward, and where the path leads you, direct your steps. Dixit et avertens rosea cervice refulsit, ambrosiaque come divinum vertice odorem spiravere, pedes vestis defluxit adimos, et vera incesu patuit dea. Ille uve matrem agnovit, tali fugientem est voce secutus, quid natum totiens, crudelis ducoque, valsis ludis imaginobus, cur dextre iungere dextram non datur, ac veras audire et redere voces. I came here to pour water on you. There is water everywhere, Altessia, but thank you so much for dropping by. And how did Tessia?
Yay!
Oh, an actual clip. I did not know this existed. This looks like a tournament. This looks like a card game tournament. I hope you had fun. Yu-Gi-Oh! The card game. Let's let the clip play before we continue. But I think the internet's not being kind. Oh, okay. I was reading the English translation and turns out he knew his mother was Venus, but she didn't reveal herself to him for whatever reason. It does not bear... It's not fruitful to think about what the gods are doing. Not too much anyway. Hang on. Okay, this is correct. She spoke, and as she turned away, her roseate neck flashed bright. From her head her ambrosial tresses breathed celestial fragrance. Down to her feet fell her raiment, and in her step she was revealed a very goddess. He knew her for his mother. And as she fled, pursued her with these words, "Why, cruel like others, do you so often mock your son with vain phantoms? Why am I not allowed to clasp hand in hand and hear and utter words unfeigned?" Thus he reproaches her and bends his steps towards the city. But Venus shrouded them as they went dusky air and enveloped them, goddess as she was, in a thick mantle of cloud, that none might see or touch them. none delay or seek the cause of her coming. She herself through the sky goes her way to Paphos, and joyfully revisits her abode, where the temple and its 100 altars steam with Sabaean incense, and are fragrant with garlands ever fresh. His mom just left. The legendary power of bilingual. Thanks. I don't actually know that much Latin. I can read it, but I only know very few words, not enough to read the Aeneid unsupervised. Is that the word? Without the translation. Let's go with that. How's your night going, Altasia? Talibus incusat, resumque ad moenia tendit, ad Venus obscuro gradientes aera saepsit. Oh, this is just part of the passage I just read, I think. Oh, no. The power just went out, guys. Give me a second. Oh, wait. The power didn't die. The power died for a second, so my second screen perished for a bit. Don't worry. Still alive. Spooky. Why must Venus be this spooky? Also, chicken disclaimer. Ow. You will hear chickens in the background. There's nothing I can do about them. Continues to be spooky night. What's going on? Why is it spooky? Have the ghosts come out to play? Corripuere viam interea, qua semita monstrat, iamque ascendebat colem, qui plurimus urbi imminent, adversaque ad spectat de super arpes. Miratur molem aeneas, magalia quondam, miratur portas de strepitumque et strata viarum, instant ardentes diri pares ducere muros, molirique arcem et manibus sulvolvere saxa, pares optare locum tecto et concludere sulco. Iura magistratusque legunt sanctumque senatum, hic portus ali effodiunt, hic alta theatris fundamenta locant ali, imanesque columnas rupibus exidunt, scaenis decora alta futuris, qualis apes aestate nova per florea rura exerget sub sole labor, cum gentis adultos educunt fetus, aut cum liquentia mela stipan et dulci distedunt nectare celas, aut onera accipiunt venientum ad minefacto, ignavom fucos pecus appresibus argent, verbet opus, redolentque timo fragrantia mela. O fortunati, quorum iam moenia surgunt, aeneas ait, et fastigia suspicit urbis, interse saeptus nebula, mirabile dictu, per medios miscetque viris, neque cernitur uli. Meanwhile, they sped on the road where the pathway points, and now they were climbing the hill that looms large over the city and looks down on the confronting towers. Aeneas marvels at the massive buildings, mere huts once, marvels at the gates, the din and the paved high roads. Eagerly the Tyrians press on, some to build walls to rear the citadel and roll up stones by hand. Some choose the site for a dwelling and enclose it with a furrow. Here some are digging harbors, here others lay the deep foundations of their theatre and hew out the cliff's vast columns, fit adornments for the stage to be. Even as bees in early summer amid flowery fields ply their task in sunshine, where they lead forth the full-grown young of their race, or pack the fluid honey and strain their cells to bursting with the sweet nectar, or receive the burdens of incomers, or in martial array drive from their folds the drones, a lazy herd. All aglow is the work, and the fragrant honey is sweet with thyme. Happy they whose walls already rise, cries Aeneas, lifting his eyes toward the city roofs. Veiled in a cloud, he enters, wondrous to tell through their midst, and mingles with the people, seen by none. Fair Ines gets superpowers. Even if his mom was acting a bit weird. And again, she is the goddess. Don't think about what they do too hard. Sometimes they just do what they do. Where were we? There we go. Locus in urbe fuit media, laetissimus. Oh wait, I gotta check pronunciation. Okay, I was doing it right. Good. Just had to make sure. Lucus in urbe fuit media, laetissimus umbra, quo primum iactati undis et turbine poeni effodere loco signum, quod regia iuno monstrarat, caput acres equi, signam fore bello egregiam et facilem victu, per saecula gentem. Hic templum iunoni ingen Sidonia Dido condebat, donis opulentum et numine dive, aerea cui gradibus surgebant limina. Nexaeque aere trabis, foribus cardos ridebat aenis. Hoc primum in luco nova res oblata timorem lenit, hic primum aeneas sperare salutem ausus. Et adflictis melius confidere rebus, namque sub ingenti lustrat dum singula templo, reginam operiens dum, quae fortuna sit urbi, adificumque manus inter se operumque laborem miratur, vidat Iliacas et ex ordine pugnas, bellaque iam fama totum volgata per orbem, Atridas priamumque et saevum ambobus Achillem. Constitit et lacrimans, quis iam locus inquit Acate, quae regio interis nostri non plena laboris. Et preamus, sunt hic etiam su praemia laudi, sum lacrime rerum et mentem mortalia tangunt, solve metus feret haec aliquam tibi falmas salutem. Sic ait atque animum pictura pascit inani, multa gemens, largoque umectat flumine voltum. Oh, I have to change the background too, because we're no longer on the shores of Libya. We're in the forest and the city, but I don't like city noises. Wait, this is nighttime. No. Give me a moment. Here we go. Give it a second to load. How's chat doing? Are you all right? Are things going well? Amid the city was a grove, luxuriant in shade, the spot where the first Phoenicians, tossed by waves and whirlwind, dug up the token which queenly Juno had pointed out, ahead of the spirited horse, for thus was the race to be famous in war and rich in substance through the ages. Here Sidonian Dido was founding to Juno a mighty temple, rich in gifts and the presence of the goddess. Brazen was its threshold uprising and steps, bronze plates were its lintel beams, on doors of bronze creaked the hinges. In this grove first did a strange sight appear to him and allay his fears. Here first did Aeneas dare to hope for safety, and put surer trust in his shattered fortunes. For while beneath the mighty temple, awaiting the queen, he scans each object. While he marvels at the city's fortune, the handicraft of the several artists and the works of their toil, he sees in due order the battles of Ilium, the warfare now known by fame throughout the world, the sons of Atreus, and Priam and Achilles, fierce in his wrath against both. He stopped and weeping cried, "Is there any place, Achates, any land on earth not full of our sorrow? See, there is Priam! Here too, virtue finds its due reward. Here too are tears for misfortune and human sorrows pierce the heart. Dispel your fears. This fame will bring you some salvation." Four, six, five. Okay, good. We're still. Okay, we're a bit staggered, but it's fine. Oh boy, the next passage is a bit of a doozy. Napque videbat uti belantes pergama circum hac fugeren grai, premeret Troiana in Juventus, hac friges, instaret curu Christatus Achilles. Nec procul hinc resi dives tentoria velis ag nosit lacrimans, primoque prodita somno tidides, multa vastabat caede cruentus, ardentisque avertit equos in castra, prius quam pabula gustasent Troiae santumque bibisent. Parte alia fugiens amicis Troilos armis, infelix per atque impar congressus Achilli, vertur equis, curuque haeret resupinus inani, lora tenens tamen, huix cervixque comeque trahuntur berteram, et versa purvis inscribitur hasta. Interea ad templum non aequae paladis ibant crinibus Iliadis, passis peplumque ferebant, suppliciter tristes et dunsae pectora palmis, diva sola fixus oculos aversa tenebat. Der circum Iliacos rapta verat hectora muros, ex animumque auro corpus vendebat Achilles, dum vero ingentem gemitum tan pectore ab imo, ut spolia und curus, utque ipsum corpus amici, tendemque manus Priamum conspexit in herbis, sequoque principibus per mixtum ad novit Achilles, eoasque Achies et nigri Memnonis arma, ducit Amazonidum lunatis agmina peltis, Penthesilea furens, mediisque in milibus artet, aurea subnectens exertaex cingula mamae, bellatrix audetque viris concurrere virgo. That was a doozy. That was hard to pronounce. I got it though. So he speaks and feasts his soul on the unsubstantial portraiture, sighing off, and his face wet with a flood of tears, for he saw how, as they fought round Pergamus, here the Greeks were in rout, the Trojan youth hard on their heels. There fled the Phrygians, plumed Achilles in his chariot, pressing them close. Not far away he discerns with tears the snowy canvas tents of Rhesus, which betrayed in their first sleep the blood-stained son of Tydeus laid waste with many a death. And turned the fiery steeds away to the camp. Before they could taste Trojan fodder or drink of Xanthus, elsewhere Troilus, his armor flung away in fight, unhappy boy, and ill-matched in conflict with Achilles, is carried along by his horses, and falling backward, clings to the empty car, still clasping the reins. His neck and hair are dragged on the ground, and the dust is scored by his reversed spear. Meanwhile, to the temple of unfriendly Pallas, the Trojan woman passed along with streaming tresses, and bore the robe, mourning in suppliant guise and beating breasts with hands. With averted face, the goddess kept her eyes fast upon the ground. Thrice had Achilles dragged Hector around the walls of Troy, and was selling the lifeless body for gold. Then indeed from the bottom of his heart he heaves a deep groan, as the spoils, as the chariot, as the very corpse of his friend meet his gaze. And Priam outstretching weaponless hands, himself too in close combat with the Achaean chiefs, he recognized in the eastern ranks and swarthy Memnon's armor. Penthesilea in fury leads the crescent shield ranks of Amazons, and blazes amidst her thousands. A golden belt she binds below her naked breast, and, as a warrior queen, dares battle, a maid clashing with men. Might want to Google that. So we're a bit past, we're quite past the midpoint of the book, but we're not finishing it today. Hang on. My throat's going buck wild. As in, it's strangling me. And my milk tea is almost done. So if Achilles was in the Iliad, maybe Homer's Iliad could be seen as, a story behind enemy lines. Then again, I don't know a lot about Greek literature. We weren't given those lessons. And I never really had the chance to read them for myself. Mostly cheese left in my milk tea. Oh God, this is another long one. I think this will be the last passage I read before we have to figure out who to rate, because I do have to rest my voice. This is a lot more talking than I'm used to in most streams. Haec dum Dardanio aene miranda videntur, lum stupet, obtutuque haeret defixus in uno, regina ad templum, forma pulchri madido, incessit magna juvenum stipante caterva, qualis in irotae ribis aut per iuga quinti exerget Diana coros, quam mille secutae hinc atque hinc glomerantur oreades, illa faretram fert umero, gradiensques dea supereminet omnis, latone tacitum per temptant gaudia pectus, talis erat dido, talem selaeta ferebat per medios, instans operi regnisque futuris, tum forius divae media testudine templi saepta aramis, solioque alte subnixaret sedit, iura dabat legesque viris, operumque laborem partibus aequebat iustis, aut sorte trahebat, cum subito aeneas concursu accedere magnon, anteas serges dumque, videt fortemque quantum, teucromque alios, atercos aecore turbo dispulerat penitusque, alias avexerat horas. Obstipuit simul ipse simul percursus acates laetitaque metuque, avidi coniugere dextras ardebant, sed res animus incognita turbat, dissimulant et nube cavas speculantur amicti, quae fortuna viris classem quolitore linquant, quid veniant, cunctis nam lecti navibus ibant, orantes veniam et templum clamore petebant. Sorry, the milk tea is getting to me. While these wondrous sights are seen by Dardan Aeneas, while in amazement he hangs wrapped in one fixed gaze. The queen, Dido, moved toward the temple of surpassing beauty, with a vast company of youths thronging around her. Even as on Eurotas's banks or along the heights of Cyclostiana guides her dancing bands, in whose train 1,000 Oreads troop to right and left, she bears a quiver on her shoulder, and as she treads overtops all the goddesses. Joys thrill Latona's silent breast. Such was Dido. So moved she joyously through their midst, pressing on the work of her rising kingdom. Then at the door of the goddess, beneath the temple's central dome, girt with arms and high enthroned, she took her seat. Laws and ordinances she gave to her people. Their tasks she adjusted in equal shares or assigned by lot. When suddenly Aeneas sees approaching, in the midst of a great crowd, Antheus and Sergestus and brave Cloanthus, with the others of the Trojans, whom the black storm had scattered on the sea and driven far away to other coasts. Amazed was he. Amazed too was Achates, thrilled with joy and fear. They burned with eagerness to clasp hands, but the uncertain event confuses their hearts. They keep hidden and clothed in the unfolding cloud, look to see what is their comrade's fortune, on what shore they leave the fleet, and why they come. For from all the ships chosen men advanced, craving grace, and with loud cries made for the temple. Yep, that's the last one we're gonna read. So they're not dead. They made it to Carthage. Wait, what's the... What was the Latin for Carthage anyway? Cartagine. It's just Cartagine, but I've never actually read Cartagine in the Latin. What's going on? What do you call? Phoenician Cartadash, Latin Carthago. But why is it in the... Okay, Sidonia has been mentioned thrice. How's chat doing? Yeah, we're just gonna hang out. Oh, it's already 4:55. I mean, I can hang out, not read. That took a bit more out of my head than I thought. Hang on, I'm gonna look for... Okay, around verse 10, line 10, 11, 12. Tiri. Oh! That's why I couldn't find it. I was spelling it with a C, which is still pronounced K in Latin. Here it's Carthago. So let's... Okay. Anyway, to those who have fallen asleep, thank you so much for being here. To the newcomers, thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for stopping by. It has been nice. And to the rest who just came to vibe, thank you so much for being here. I know. Let's go see if anyone on Twitch Cursed Islands is around. How's chat doing? Oh, quite a few on Twitch Cursed Islands.
And they reach out to me.
I am going to search these channels one by one. See if there's one that I like. Let's look for something relaxing. Oh right, I forgot desktop audio is on. Oops. I'm sorry, there probably is. There won't be any more birds for you. Next time I'll have birds playing in the background. So many people playing Valorant. Oh, that's a dog. That's a dog. Oh god. Oh, they just started. Lovely. Let's see. Court. They're going to play Court Keeper. This seems promising. All right, so it seems we will be raiding. It's Kate time, who will be playing Core Keeper. I haven't gotten Core Keeper myself. I'll have to wait until after I get paid. But yes, thank you all so much for being here. It has been a lovely time. My next stream. Oh right, important announcement. I might not have a Monday stream because I need to catch up on commissions and Patreon rewards. To make up for that, I might have a Saturday stream, but that's only if I don't have a Monday stream. Well, so yeah, keep that in mind. Okay, time to put down the raid command for real. Oh, there, I was looking for my... It's Kate time. Thank you all so much for being here. Eat enough food, drink enough water. Do not be like me, please. Make sure you nourish your soul by talking to your friends. Pet your pets. I will see you all very soon. Thank you so much for being here. Bye. Hope to see you soon. Twitch. Oh my god. It's come on, raid. Raid, please work. Raid. It's late again. Oh, there we go. Goodbye guys. Take care of yourselves now.